All right, let's turn our attention now to Nigeria's oil and gas sector. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, and DAEWU have signed a memorandum of understanding to rehabilitate the Kaduna Refinery. The development was confirmed by Femi Adesina, President Buhari's special advisor on media and publicity. A statement by Mr. Adesina said the MOU was signed on Thursday, October 27, 2022 in Seoul, South Korea, during the First World Bio Summit. The DAEWU Group is also involved in ongoing rehabilitation works at the Warri Refinery, which is expected to start working by 2023. Now, what does this mean for Nigeria's oil and gas sector and by extension, the average Nigerian? Let's get talking now. Bala Zaka is an oil and gas analyst. He joins us virtually. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Zaka.
Thank you, and I greet all your listeners across the globe.
Good to have you on the show. Well, let's get your take first on the recently signed memorandum of understanding between the NNPC Limited and DAEWU to rehabilitate the Kaduna Refinery.
When I received the news, it was something that really gladdened my heart. It was something that came at the right time, considering what Nigeria is going through. And we hope that what the announcement we had and the practical actions and implementations that will follow will get to positive crystallization. Because generally, once you have a sovereign nation, there are two things that become priorities. And those two things, first, is to guarantee security. Once you guarantee security, we're talking about social security now. That means there will be peace in that country. It simply means that country is a country where investors can be invited. It simply means people can cohabit together. Immediately you are able to guarantee peace. The next thing you go for is energy. So when I hear people saying you need to construct schools, you need to build roads, you need to, all those things are tertiary. Once you have security as the primary concern, the next thing is energy security. And in the context of Nigeria, energy security simply means electricity, then oil and gas. And of course, by extension, the products of crude oil and gas. So we are talking about an energy requirement, energy sufficiency. Once you have that energy sufficiency between you and I, so many things will come into fusion. Investment will flow in, operating costs will go down, meaning that there will be profitability. And if there is profitability, then company income tax will go up. If there is high company income tax, that means government will get revenues. Then personal income tax will also go up because there will be so many workers, they will be able to pay their taxes. And if the cost of operation goes up, then that means, if the cost of operation of activities goes down, that means there will be so much product in the country. And by that extension, supply will be high. And if supply goes high, then that means inflation must go down. But what I had is something positive. And I hope it comes into fusion or positive crystallization or manifestation.
Yeah, the positive crystallization, I think, is the most important factor here. But let's look at how well we've moved in the direction of achieving energy sufficiency in the past. For instance, in January 2022, NNPC Limited said it spent 8.3 billion naira monthly for 12 months between January and December 2021 on refinery rehabilitation. And then in August 2021, the Federal Executive Council approved the sum of $1.48 billion for the rehabilitation of both the Warri and Kaduna refineries. And generally, we've seen a report has shown that refineries rehabilitation gobbled 100 billion naira in 2021. Shouldn't we begin to first assess what results these have achieved before we begin to look at spending more money to rehabilitate, or rather, rehabilitate the refinery?
God bless you for that question. This kind of question that you have asked has been the question that I will expect, because this is before I answer you. This kind of question are the kind of question I will expect energy journalists like you to start compiling and preparing and be ready to ask the next generation of people that want to lead Nigeria come 2023. I'm not actually digressing, but let me tell you, when you talk about energy sufficiency, let's start with one aspect. But the summary I will give you as of today is that Nigeria is not doing well. Our political and economic leaders are not doing well in terms of provision of energy or sufficiency of energy. Let me start with electricity. Okay. If you look at it, the national grid collapse has happened countless number of times. Even though as we speak, we are talking as a country with a population of about 200 million citizens, sitting on less than 10,000 megawatts of electricity. From that angle alone, you will know that, strategic sectors are going to suffer. Production is going to be very difficult, and Nigeria cannot be a very good industrial and manufacturing hub. Then let us go to, and from even electricity alone, if you have enough electricity, there will be glut at the filling station. People will not be rushing up and down trying to look for petrol to buy or diesel to buy. Because that simply means if you have electricity, all the industries we have can run using electricity. The domestic sector, the cooking and everything we do will be run using electricity. Even cooking gas will go down. Price of cooking gas. But let us now go to the oil and gas industry itself. Quote me. I'm not saying you should quote anybody. Quote me that I said as far as the oil and gas industry is concerned, especially the downstream, Nigeria is performing abysmally. Quote me that I said so. And the reasons are very, very simple. As I speak to you right now, we don't have enough drilling rigs in Nigeria. We have less than 15 active drilling rigs. Quote me that I said so. And Nigeria is a member of OPEC. So if you don't have enough drilling rigs, first of all, how can you be able to drill and produce enough crude oil? That is point number one. Then point number two, it is something that is just like a fairy tale to say that the country that is the sixth or seventh largest producer of crude oil and has so much endowment of natural gas does not have functional refineries. It's something that is completely unheard of. But let me start from gas before I even go to the refinery. From natural gas alone, you can get ammonia. From ammonia, you will get urea. From urea, you will get fertilizer. And that simply means from natural gas alone, you will be able to boost
Okay, that's quite distorted. Mr. Zaka.
And generate electricity. Then let us cross to the refineries now. If you have functional refineries, the first thing that will happen is that there will be sufficiency of distillate. And distillate simply means refined petroleum products. Whether you are talking about liquefied petroleum gas, which is cooking gas, or PMS, which is petrol, or diesel, or aviation fuel, or kerosene. If you have it internally with functional refineries, quote me that I said everything about internal production will be good for the country. And that country will be on the path of economic growth and possibly economic development and advancement.
Well, you've just mentioned another key issue. Aside the refinery problem we also have the problem of lack of sufficient drilling rigs. But the NNPC in 2020 for the first time released its audited 2018 report revealing that for Warri Refinery Company, the company earned 1.98 billion naira as revenue while incurring the 12.74 billion naira as cost of sales, and this resulted in a gross loss of 10.5 billion naira. And it's the same narrative for the other refineries in Port Harcourt, in Kaduna. Why isn't there a regular audit of the company, especially looking at the fact that a lot is going into cost of maintenance, paying salaries and all of that? We're not even looking at how much we're getting from these refineries. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Thank you so much for staying with us on Business Breakfast. We're still speaking with Bala Zakar, an oil and gas analyst, looking at all of the issues surrounding the Memorandum of Understanding signed between Nigeria, the NNPC Limited, and Daewoo to refine or rejig the Kaduna Refinery. And of course, I was talking to you, Mr. Zakar, about the fact that what's it called now? The NNPC NNPC in 2020 for the first time released its audited 2018 report, and we were looking at the fact that we're spending so much in maintaining these refineries and getting very little from it, and we're looking at all of the issues surrounding this.
Okay, man, let me talk to you this time around in the capacity of a chartered accountant. As far as I'm concerned, a very simple audit can be carried out and we will know where all the lapses and the lacunas are. That is all I can tell you.
Yeah, but why isn't the NNPC Limited often audited? Now that it's commercialized, with that change?
The simple reason is because there is political interference. It's not because external auditors cannot carry out their activities to do their job. It's because there is political interference. And let me tell you, it is only in a country like Nigeria that you can say a nation is endowed with crude oil, or gas, or fossil fuel, and is suffering during this period of boom. The only reason that can be given for difficulties for the first time for me to accept is natural disaster like the recent flood that we experienced. But I can tell you all the flimsy excuses of coronavirus, smuggling, Ukraine, Russian crisis cannot add up. It is not coronavirus or smuggling or Ukraine or Russian crisis that make the refineries not to be working. Those are not the reasons why we have smuggling. Those are not the reason why we have banditry. The truth is this: there has been leadership docility. And I'm happy that for the first time we've discovered that Nigeria has been reduced to a melancholy country. Remember that until about 3 or 4 months ago, Nigeria was the one presiding over the global crude oil cartel called OPEC. And that Nigeria was led Alhaji Sanusi Barkindo. And he was in Vienna, Austria. But go to other OPEC countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Libya, and the rest. Are they doing well or they are not doing well? Are their refineries functional or their refineries are not functional? And as I speak, what means that I said so? So when you look at it, it is a problem that is artificial, it is internal, and it can be corrected if we put national interest at heart.
All right, so what bottlenecks do you foresee in the operationalization and the eventual running of the refineries?
Well, I didn't get your question very clear, but all I know is you are asking on how we can find solutions.
No, I'm talking about this MOU. Mr. Zakar, if you can hear me, I'm talking about this MOU. What bottlenecks do you foresee in the operation of this MOU and then the eventual running of the refineries?
Well, the first thing I will say is this. Let's hope that we are going to match our MOU, the pronouncement, with practical action. And let us also understand that Nigeria has been on the wrong path for a long time. We need to come back to the right track. Then secondly, there is a need for a new generation of leaders to come up with a new line of thinking. That's the old thinking that Nigeria cannot have functional refineries should be expunged from our brains. And I have recently discovered that there are some people who prefer that Nigeria should remain a perpetually importing nation, which is a sorry situation. I will give you a practical example. Recently, I was on an international program with some international financiers, and one of them was saying, even if we refine internally, the positive gain will be like 5 naira per liter. And I said, oh, so we can even get 5 naira per liter from PMS, positive. So that simply means if we are importing 70 million liters per day, multiply that by 5 naira gains, That means every day we are going to be saving 350 million Nigerian naira. Multiply that by savings in a week. Multiply that by savings in a month. And multiply that by savings in a year. But I can tell you that if we are refining internally, we will save more than 100 naira per liter. So what that tells you is there are some people who don't want to see the downstream sector of the Nigerian oil and gas industry positively functional. I'm telling you this as a practitioner, and I'm talking to you as also a chartered accountant who know what audit is all about. If you carry that real audit, genuine audit, all the economic vampires, economic marauders, and economic betrayers and traitors will be fished out. And if there is the national will and the political will, I'm telling you, we can reposition Nigeria. And that's why I'm happy that at the twilight of the exit of this regime, they want to at least do something about the energy sector. And energy journalists like you now should be putting hot questions to the next people who want to lead this country. What do they want to do for the energy sector?
All right, Mr. Zaka, because of time, we're really short of time, but as we, take this home, the Dewo Group is also involved in the ongoing rehabilitation works at the Warri Refinery, which is expected to start working by 2023. What do you think this will portend for the Nigerian economy?
Well, generally, we know the Peru is from Korea, and we know those Asian countries. Any corruption will be met with death penalty. That person's head will be blown up. So I don't think we are going to have concerns with that aspect of Peru. It is the Nigerian side that needs to be taken care of. So we don't want a situation where we will be having people who will come. Somebody will say, I will construct 10-kilometer roads for you. After the time he's talking, he doesn't know even how much a tipper of laterite costs. He doesn't know how much a bag of cement costs. They will play their own part. It is only Nigerian part that needs to be taken care of. And I tell you, we have Nigerians that can straighten everything positively in Nigeria. With the support of energy journalists like you that will be ready to expose any rot that will come in. Put them to task and we will get the best for Nigeria as energy journalists.
All right, that's a good place to leave the conversation, but we do appreciate you for your time, Mr. Bala Zaka, oil and gas analyst.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Well, there are strong indications that the combination of elevated commodity prices and persistent currency depreciations translate into higher inflation in many countries. We will be looking at the effect on Nigeria and possible ways out of this quagmire in the next part of the show. Please stay with us.